I could see, oh, you guys saw that, or you liked it, you like this game, you like that. So it's, for me, that's where the connection is like, we can connect on whatever various project that I worked on.
Do you ever get, I'm wondering, like friendly critique of your work where people are...
Oh, I mean, occasionally, somebody has something
to say?
that's not super nice to say.
How do you handle that?
Aggressive. I usually am caught off guard, and because I'm just trying to be, I've got to commit whatever time, even though it might be like a minute or two with each person. It's very important for me to connect with you on whatever level, right? It's like Bleach, but then sometimes even like right now, it's like, you gotta go, you're running late for the panel. I was like, well, I don't control that. You guys tell me where to go. Anyways, so I got to commit all this time to you guys, so it's just important for me to do that. I forgot what the question was.
That's okay. Alright, we're just having a chit chat. I wanted to, before I go into the voice work, I wanted to ask about acting, just in general. Was it something that
voice work is also acting?
Of course it is. But I wanted to ask if you, when you first started, was this always what you wanted to do, or did you fall into?
No, I wanted to be a ninja. This acting thing is like an actual thing that I need to focus on. And so that's when they got rid of us. And so I had to figure out if I could keep having a career in acting. And, so yeah.
I wanted to be, do you remember the 80s cartoon Gem?
Yes.
I wanted to be Gem when I was younger. Cool, some people remember that. I'm not entirely old. Great, that's good. I wanted to ask about Power Rangers. Are you Power Rangers fans?
Yeah.
You stood up, sir, yes! I love it, I love the enthusiasm.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
Do you think your time as a younger actor would have been different, if you'd had all of the trappings, maybe they're not trappings, but the things that we have nowadays in terms of social media and pressure from that end? Because back then, there wasn't all that extra pressure.
What was the question?
Social media, do you think your time would have been slightly different as a young actor?
Yeah, it definitely would have been different for me. Probably would have been a lot more hate. Sadly, that's what a lot of people put out there. And even just the whole sub and dub thing, it's like, what's the point of being so hateful and mean? Just enjoy one or the other and let that be. But some people can't be that way. And so, thank you. I wrote that myself. But I think so, because I was also replacing somebody else. And so I think at that time, if there was social media, there probably would have been a bit of backlash. There's always some kind of baggage when that kind of thing happens. Even if it wasn't anything I was really responsible for, there's definitely been people that, or at least one person I can think of, that hated me and everything that I did in my career because I replaced his favorite ranger. But it wasn't like I told him to get out of there, I'm coming in. No, it was like, there was an audition. I didn't even know what I was auditioning for. I just knew it was Power Rangers. And then I didn't know until the actual callback in California where it said like, new Black Ranger, new Red Ranger. And I was like, wait a second, what does this mean?
What about what you learned from that time as a younger actor? Were there any lessons that you learned from that sort of Power Rangers era that you took with you into your sort of later life?
There's so much that I learned there. I really just there's really a lot, but it's just, for me more, it's just how the process of making a film. Anytime actually that I do any kind of on-camera stuff, like I just did a film last August, and there's a lot of time that's wasted. And sometimes you can't help it because it takes a long time to set up lights and cameras and all that sort of thing. But there's like hours of sitting around and it's like, well, I'm getting paid to sit here when you don't need me, So there's a lot of that stuff. Like I see a lot of those things that could, in my opinion, could be fixed or adjusted. But as far as anything else, I'm sure there's plenty of things I've learned, but
I feel like I've got so many friends, actors who do a lot of voice work as well, and I guess the best thing about doing it is you're a complete chameleon. You can be anything, you can do any role, and you mentioned that back in the day there weren't a lot of half Asian roles
Yeah.
for you, and I was wondering, as someone who's also half Asian, do you think that that has changed? Do you feel it?
It's definitely changed now. There's a little more. It's kind of strange, actually. So yeah, after Power Rangers, I couldn't get a job because there were no half Asian roles, you know, and I don't look enough Asian to get the Asian roles at that time, right? So thankfully, I fell into voiceover where it didn't matter what I looked like. But now there's a very big, like, it's more kind of specific. Anime is not so much. Anime is kind of still loose and you're okay, but there's like now like 90% of the auditions that get sent to me are, this character is Asian. And I'm like, oh, well, I want to audition for other characters too, you know, not just the Asian guy that's, you know, the smart kid or something. You know, so now I'm seeing a lot of that when it comes to the auditions, which is kind of like, all right, well, it's a little bit of a bummer. You know, I thought we were kind of beyond that, and but now it's like, well, now we've got to put us into certain places now, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of like, I don't know if you agree with me, kind of like box ticking in a way.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's still, like, I feel it's changed a lot from when I was younger.
It's definitely changed. I mean, now there's actually, and the other thing is also you can make your own projects now. You know, there's enough, like, you can go buy a decent camera, you know, you can shoot your own things, you can write. There's so much out there now that you can just kind of do it yourself. And there's a lot more independent projects that are a little more open. And then go through the script, you know, because we used to have paper scripts then. And so one day I was running late, I skipped breakfast, but I showed up in time, you know, to be able to go through and kind of cheat, working on Wolf Train. And so we're going through the process of our day of dubbing and whatnot, and going through it, and all of a sudden my stomach, because I didn't eat, is starting to get that grumbly feeling, right? Like I'm like, oh no, it's gonna make a growling noise, you know? My stomach's gonna growl. And I'm in the booth, and you know what it's like when you're in school and you're taking a quiz and it's quiet, right? And you're like, oh crap, you start shuffling papers or kicking the table or whatever, you're trying to make some noise to cover it and hide it, and you can't do that in the booth, you know? And it's like, what do I do? And I had this water, so anytime I felt that sensation, I would just down some water, and it worked. And I was like, oh, this is, and so it worked for a while. Like every time I felt like it was gonna growl, I'd just take some water, and it worked. But then one time, it didn't work. It just like, out of no, like it didn't even give me a warning. And it wasn't like a growly noise where I can be like, oh, that's my stomach, that's embarrassing. No. Instead, it goes, so it sounded like, yeah, I like tried to let out a fart, you know, but my butt was like, whoop, nope. And so I was like, and I saw the director and the engineer, they were like, you know, looking through the glass, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm never gonna work in this town again. It's like this third thing I've worked on. And I was looking over there, and they're like, and I was like, nah, I know it sounded like one, but that was my stomach. And they're like, sure. I'm like, no. I was like, come on in, and you can come and smell it. And they're like, so yeah, Wolf Train, they thought I farted in the booth. So anyways, yes, it's really scary to be in there, especially in the beginning, because I thought my career was over after that. I was like, no, you're done. That's it.
I've never asked this question before, but please forgive me.
Oh.
Now, people always ask, how did you get into voice acting and what were the things that you learned, but how do you not let out a fart in the booth? I need your top tips for keeping all bodily functions under control, because we're human beings at the end of the day. So no eating before, that kind of thing.
Well, that helps, but your stomach will growl.
Right.
You know, so if you're gonna eat, make it light.
Okay.
You know, I think you just have to excuse yourself. Can I go to the bathroom? Thank you.
And then they all know.
No, they just think you're going to, unless it's like a lot. It's like right after lunch and you had chili together, then yeah, I think they're probably gonna be onto you.
Guys, we're running about 15 minutes late. Like,
sorry, I gotta.
It's really in the bathroom. He's really enjoying himself in that bathroom.
I mean, well, here's the thing. It's like, if you fart in the booth, there's a good chance there's somebody else coming in after you. So that's just, it's not cool. And I'll tell you another story.
Okay.
I forgot the name of it. It was another series, and I was playing the villain in it, but I showed up and I was gonna go, I went right into the booth, right? And I saw the engineer, he was working on the mic, set it up. But as he saw me coming through the door, he ran basically past me and bumped into me as he's going out. I was like, what the heck was that for? He's like, you don't have to go in there. I was like, what? So as I like walked in, it was like hit me in the face, just like all of it. And I was like, oh, but I do have to be in here. It's my session starting. So yeah, he farted in the booth.
Oh my God.
Cool, it's not cool.
Love it. I hope you guys are learning a lot. This panel. Sorry.
Do you think this was going to be a mature panel?
Did you think this was going to be professional? No. It's my panel, so I did want to ask you though, but
I don't know if I should share that. You know, I think I'm going to leave that between me and him.